Welcome to the It's All Fine and Danjee podcast, where hosts Dan and Angie talk with creatives, small business owners, charities, and all kinds of interesting people. It's all real talk. It's all fine and Danjee.
Well, we're going to get into that because Angie told me it's very impressive, but let's roll in.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right, we're ready. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Fine and Danjee here. It's Dan and Angie here, but it's all Fine and Danjee.
That's how we introduce ourselves now when we go to places. We're Fine and Danjee. We don't do that.
No, we should just call ourselves Danjee. That's what we say our celebrity name is.
No.
Yeah.
That's so
Hi.
schmoopy.
Hi, we're Danjee.
That is so...
It makes it easier to remember,
doesn't
though.
it?
It's so schmoopy, though. It's so... In fact, I do like the brand, but when we first came up with this, she goes, let's call it Danjee. And I'm like, no way. That sounds like some schmoopy romantic thing. And then she goes, well, it's all Fine and Danjee. And I was like, actually, that's not bad. I think we can market that.
Yeah. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
So we are joined in studio by Hayden DeMoss today, a young entrepreneur from Leesburg. And Hayden, you have your own business, your own detailing business, Haydens Detailing Services.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and we actually met you at one of the events in Eustis. That's
Yes,
the first
ma'am.
time I think we met you.
The Whimsy Market event, yes, ma'am.
That's right. But you were doing something a little different there. You weren't detailing people's
No.
cars. Is that another business that you have? The Roadies Sodies?
Nope, the Roadies Sodas is actually something that my mom had started,
Okay.
and since she has started, me and my brothers have helped her out making the sodas
perfect.
and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a really cool business idea she came up with. It was just kind of a fun thing for the summer for us to do.
Yeah. So, but that's not what you actually reached out to us to come on the show
Yes, ma'am.
because you have your other business. So that's what you reached out for. So I was like, hey, okay.
Yes,
we
ma'am.
don't usually have people actually call up. We're like, usually finding people and inviting them on. But I love
Right.
that you kind of took the initiative and said,
She loves doing this because she'll say
I can't talk right
the
now.
word that what's the word of the day
Initiative?
that Angie gets
Is that how
wrong?
you say it?
Initiative.
Yeah. Okay.
I love
Initiative.
that too, honestly. And it also that you're so young and that you're starting your own business, which I think is amazing. And let's jump back real quick. Roadie Sodies, is that a business or was it just a summer business for your mom? Do you know?
It started out kind of just like as a summer thing to do.
Right.
In my dad's barber shop, we had a little bar set up, and it was like a soda craft bar, and we just
Right.
kind of did it kind of behind the counter as just like a fun thing to do during the summer. And
Yeah.
then I think once my mom realized like this is actually
People
a good
are liking
idea and
this,
people like
yeah.
this and they like that they can get handcrafted sodas, we started actually taking it a little more serious.
Yeah.
And now it's like a for sure like long-term thing.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
That's
I was
cool.
asking because we want to plug that too and put the link in the show notes to it as well.
Yeah,
'Cause-
especially since that's how we met him. to
and we
begin
did.
with.
We got one of your sodas.
Which one did you get? I forgot.
If you name it, I'll tell you. It was a lemonade something.
Was it the Florida roadie with the lemonade and the strawberry and all that?
That would have been it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one.
That
It
sounds
was
right.
very good.
That one's my favorite.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
always the one that sells out.
It's very, very good.
Because we
Yeah.
do normally go for the lemonade. So
Yeah.
if you had something lemonade,
Especially when
that
it's hot
would-
out. It's
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's the go-to.
But
Literally.
but I love that you asked about being on the show, that you followed up and reached out to us. I mean, I love that. That
You were an hour early.
hour early to get
I'm
here.
just on time. That's it.
You
You're
are
early.
very
You're on
punctual.
time.
I love it.
You know what? The on time is the new late. That
Yep.
should be your
On time
your
is
new
the new
phrase.
late,
Yeah, exactly. So I want to kind of go back to when you got started.
Yeah, me too.
Because,
In detailing?
Yeah, in detailing, because you have, it seems like you have a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because
And
I
it's-
see you post a lot on your Facebook page, and I'm like,
ma'am.
oh, this kid's busy, man.
And can I say it's a commendable job in Florida because it is
yeah, I don't know how
hot
you do
out
it.
there. Oh my goodness, it's hot out
oh,
there.
bless you.
Yeah, it is.
So
It's,
how'd you get rolling?
Well, one day I was just sitting home and I had recently quit a job that I was working at, and I just wrote down a list of business names, and detailing happened to be one of those things that I wanted to pursue.
Yep.
And especially since I have an interest in detailing and cars and things like that. I was
Oh,
like,
are you into
that's what-
cars?
yeah.
Oh, very
Oh,
nice.
okay.
So I thought, okay, well, if I'm, a car fanatic and, detailing keeps catching my eye, maybe that's something I can pursue. Ever since then, I just fell in love with the craft and I just kept pursuing it and, learning and teaching myself the skills and the
work that comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's something I think that's probably gives you a little bit of an edge, because if you're I don't know what the word is, a car junkie, or I'm into technology, so it's called nerd. I don't know what it's called when you're into cars.
I don't know. I just call it car fanatic. Like
Yeah.
some of the newer cars, I mean, I don't really care for it. It's just more of the older vehicles.
Well, that's classics.
Classics, yeah.
But I'm just saying, so you probably have the type personality where when a car is all clean, or if it's your car, you step back and like admire how good it looks or whatever. And that probably gives you more of a sort of a work ethic to get it just right for your client.
The attention to the detail in it.
There's a satisfaction to it. Like, it's, to me, when you can take something that's really nasty and dirty and you can like detail it and put that work in, and then you step back and you go, wow,
look at that.
That's and it's really nice. But then you have those clients who are just like, oh yeah, it looks great, and then you're just like,
They're out the door.
no, like you really got to
like,
look at it.
Get down in there.
I'm gonna hide my face now.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's us. So how old were you when you started your actual business?
15.
Holy moly, man!
Yeah.
So when did you have your first job? Like
my first job.
Were you reporting to somebody else? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, my first job was Play It Again.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did that at 13 going on to 14. And then when I was younger, I would actually do stuff for my mom and dad for their barbershop, like help like sweep the floors and things like that. So I've always had like that entrepreneur spirit.
Did they pay you?
No.
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 That's good though. That is a good thing, because then that just it does something.
I mean, they did,
builds.
but they didn't. Like it was
Well, they probably gave you money to go to the movies or to go out.
Yeah. But
like,
it was just more to teach me like there's more to like life than just working a daily like 9 to 5. Like, there's more out there. So
I love that, because you're not. It's not just wanting to work and contribute to society, but it's also not wanting to work for somebody else. And knowing that as early as your age, wow, I feel like so many of us wish we had that right by the time, because a lot of us do that when we're like 40 or 50. We're like,
It seems like your parents are instilling that in you too, because they're both business owners, aren't they? Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mom, she owns I would call it like more of a day spa. It's like a day spa / boutique. She has a lot that goes on in there. She has her nail ladies in there, the ladies that do all the hair. She does.
My hair girl is working there now, Bailey Hernandez.
Bailey, yep. She's really good. And then my mom does all the clinical care and esthetician stuff.
Yep.
So that's really nice. And then even some of the ladies from the Whimsy Waffle Market have some of their merch in there that my mom sells.
I saw that. I love that. Small businesses supporting other small businesses.
I know.
It's
We see
such
it
a great
so
community.
often. I love it. Yeah.
And then Dad, he owns the barbershop DeMoss House of Cuts. He actually just remodeled, and I'm really excited for him because his shop came out really awesome.
Another one of our small business owners is in there.
We have to have them on too, for sure.
Joe Gross is in DeMoss.
Oh, he's in. Joe's in there.
That's how I heard about DeMoss Cuts.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So see, it's small businesses plugging other small businesses.
That's
or whatever.
right.
That's awesome.
Pretty much, yeah.
Also have to ask, when your dad owns a barbershop, do you get to get a haircut anytime you want?
Yep.
That's awesome. So your hair's never not cut.
Oh no, it always stays cut.
Yeah, that's awesome. The perks.
And if it's not, Dad's going, hey bud, it's time.
He's
it's time to clean that up.
Time to get in the chair.
That's not looking too hot. So so when you first started, now usually when you start off doing like detailing or something you haven't learned yet, it's kind of like, okay, can I practice on your car?
Yeah, it is.
So who do we practice on? Where did that,
I'm going to guess. I guess that it was your own car and your family's cars.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Mainly Mom's, though. Sure, hers was the nastiest. So, I mean, I was 15.
Call it Mom.
I'm not.
But that's a win-win for the parents. Think about it. Can I practice washing on your car? Yeah.
Her car is actually the first car that I did when I started out detailing. I did her car, and then after that, it was my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
So out of all like the family members and stuff that you were kind of like practicing on, who gave you the best critique or the harshest critique? What you want to say?
You're putting him on the spot.
Probably myself. I was probably my own hardest.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah. Good answer. Keep it. Yeah.
Well, I have to say, Hayden, honestly, I started working for my family business when I was probably 13, and stopped when I was probably 16 or 17, and then went on to work in the corporate world. But I think there's huge value in starting that early, because you you know the struggle. You will know the struggle, and you will continue to know the struggle of working for your own money,
Yeah.
balancing your own money, screwing up balancing your money, which we all do, and then knowing how hard you worked for. I feel like aside from the your attention to detail, and I feel like how good of a business person that's going to make you. Just getting started so young is I just want to say it once again. It's commendable, really commendable.
Thank you.
It really
Thank
is.
you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
So when you started,
And props to you too. I mean, it's parents too, but you deserve a lot of that credit yourself.
yeah,
you know?
because
It's all about having the right people in your corner.
Yeah, well,
for sure.
And the parents can, encourage you to do this and that and help you get. And some kids are just like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on the person.
Why don't you say kids? Because I don't want to.
And people, yeah.
People.
Yeah.
People in general, just
Yeah.
humans. Sometimes you have the drive or you don't.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
think you have the drive.
And you have to let people find their way. Sometimes people find their drive later, but I think the earlier that you find it,
Yeah,
it's
head start.
Yeah, total
Yeah.
head start. Yeah.
So after you started, detailing, and you were, getting commended probably for the detail you were paying or
Yep.
attention to detail that you were paying.
Yep.
When did it kind of start growing, and did it grow through word of mouth? Did you do a little marketing, a little advertisement? How did you start really growing?
Oh yeah, a lot of my flow was from word of mouth and even networking events. There's one that I like to go to. It's called the No Strings Attached one. It's in BTW. It's a really nice one. There's a lot of realtors and people there. So I mean, as a business owner and an entrepreneur, I'm like, okay, they know people that know people, and those people know people. So, it's all about putting yourself out there, and that's just pretty much what I did.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So you were going to the networking events just to kind of get your name out there.
And even Joey Meany, he was actually the one that introduced me into marketing events. He brought me over
Love it.
to one, what was it? Over in Foxtail in Mount Dora, and that went really well too.
Oh, good. I love Foxtail. We
Yeah.
have one by us in Eustis.
I do too, but the networking events, that's brilliant. I mean, that's things that I'm starting a new business now, and I hadn't even thought of that. So
that's
It's a good way to go.
That's the place,
especially
to go,
especially the right ones.
yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's better than. What else can you do really though? Put up signs, get on social media.
Yeah.
You're not going to spread your business as far that way as you are by making real connections.
Well, also,
Right.
when you're a small business,
Even the Instagram reels.
Yeah, marketing is expensive though. Like if you, actually want to put up a billboard or advertise in a magazine, it's usually not in the budget for small businesses. So the word of mouth, the networking events, like you said, usually networking events are free or they're very affordable, $5
Right.
or $10, just to kind of cover cost of food or something like that. So that's a great way
it really
to
is.
kind of
Plus, no one reads magazines anymore. They still make magazines?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
I just don't read them.
Yeah, nobody does. But you said Instagram Reels too.
Yeah,
though.
that's a really good one.
Is it? Is it?
Well,
Okay, we're learning from you now. I'm taking notes on what to do.
It's
I know.
it's a good one, especially if you find the right trending sounds or you find something that you like, you can get really creative with it. And I think that's what I like about it, because before I even detailed, I used to do YouTube a lot, and I would used to make like fun like videos of my brothers and just do things around town. And so I think just from doing that, I kind of like doing the reels because I can get creative with it. Like
so
it's
what does
my
a
own.
reel do? Oh my gosh. I
That's
should
okay.
know this stuff since we're
All right, I can tell you.
But what is it? Is it
I'm going to tell you my definition of a reel, and then Hayden's going to laugh and tell you what they are.
What is it?
So it's almost like TikTok, but on Instagram. It's a video clip of.
He's right.
Is he right?
Right?
Yeah, he's right. Yeah.
So it's like is it a limited time? Is it,
I think the most you can do, I think just depends on the limit of the video. Like I know some of them you can do like a minute long, but mine I like to keep relatively short.
yeah, because people's attention span fades.
Yeah, you want to see it fast.
And then
Yeah,
what?
right.
So what do you do? You do something funny or fun, and you try to tie in a sound that. Is,
Right now I just like doing like the cool edits, but there's one sound that I'm gonna use here soon that I think is pretty funny. But yeah, right now it's just kind of like cool little edits.
so we could
people
talk
need to
about
keep
that
their
stuff.
eye out for that one. 'Cause
I
it's kinda-
love the video editing side of not just this, but I'm just starting a drone business. I just got my drone
awesome.
license, and it's so fun. But
Where'd you get it at?
well, you have to. It's a federal license. You have to go
Yeah.
to a place. So I went to right at the intersection of 436 and 434. There's a restaurant supply company, which is weird. But in the back, they have the federal testing. So when you go to the federal website, it tells you, like PSI online exams or something,
Right.
and then you go, and then you, they give you 2 hours. 60 questions. I think the pool is like in the thousands, but
Right.
you don't know which 60 you're getting. They took my hat. They give you like a pencil and a piece of paper, and it's and like a
No
calculator
cheating.
with no
Gotcha.
advanced functions, and it's very intimidating. And it's
gotcha.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a difficult test. It's a
Right.
difficult
Yeah.
test, but I mean, it's really fun to do. It seems
Yeah.
like you're into it the way you're saying.
Well, the only reason why I asked is because I know you can get them done at airports, and
Yeah.
I'm currently studying for my pilot's license.
Oh, then you'll be
Yeah.
so
Then you can fly a drone.
You'll be so you still have to get your part 107, but it's literally like 37 to 40% of the pilot exam is in
Yeah.
the drone exam. So
Yeah.
you will kill it. You will. So you probably already know all the stuff, but I had to learn like the METARs and the to airspace and know the differences and know the regulations and know how to read a TAF and know
Right.
how to
I hear birds chirping right now.
you know, know how to do. I won't get into
Crickets.
the rabbit hole, but I thought it was really interesting. And if you're studying for your pilot's license, you'll automatically think it's interesting too. But
Right.
you can appreciate this as a soon-to-be pilot. Making people go through that is what helps them from flying a drone into your airplane when you're up there. So,
Yeah, you would probably
Right.
appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah.
but I guess the reason I brought that up though is twofold. One is knowing how to market, and even you telling us right now, about like when you said the no strings attached business
Yep.
event with realtors. I'm like, ooh, realtors.
Yeah,
They need drone work.
that's a good one.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
But also the reels, like, dude, those are the things that I feel like the younger generation is so much better at, generally speaking.
I am not good at it.
knowing how to market on social media, because
Yeah.
what we tend to do is just post, hey, we got a thing coming, and it's, people are like, it's like a news article at that
Right.
point.
I just want to go talk to people. Like, I just want to talk
Yeah.
to people.
But making it fun and putting the music in it and putting the sounds in it and all
Just
that
having
stuff.
fun with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
and having an eye for it where you're going to catch people's attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I try to look for those trending sounds too. Like even if like I'll do sounds that I like, but mainly I try to go for like what's trending and then like do my edit off of that.
Now, is it trending sounds or trending songs?
Both.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay,
So
cool.
there's just sounds sometimes too. So we closed our TikTok. I'm not going to get into this, but I'm an IT guy. I read all the stuff about all the tracking it's doing and how it was created by the Chinese government and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And the more I researched, the more I'm like, this is true. Holy smokes.
Yeah, no, it is.
But we downloaded all our TikToks, but we were doing well on that. We had like 4.5 million views on one of
Oh,
them, but
that's
it
awesome.
wasn't related to any. I know everybody.
It was just funny stuff.
It was
Yeah.
just. It was like
Life.
I was in there working, and we have security cameras inside and outside the house. And Angie came. She is like the most calm person ever. You have to know her to get this. Like if I did this, she'd be like, "Dude, you're freaking out." But if she did it, I'm in here working, and you could see her look out the back window, and then she starts yelling, "Dan, Dan, it's a tornado!" And I come running through. I'll show you the clip when we're done. And I don't know why I was running like this, but I'm running like a little ballerina, and it's so
great.
embarrassing. But it took
He
off.
had socks on, so he was trying not
But
to
it- but
fall.
it took
Because
off.
I was like, haul booty. Like, it's a tornado.
Right.
And it was a microburst.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, I
Microburst?
tore down a tree over there.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
man.
it sounds like a tornado's coming.
If you're
So-
familiar with this area, the big pavilion on Bear Lake where you can rent. There's a
Well,
big
they're
pavilion.
from Leesburg.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, there's a big
Yeah.
pavilion out there with like picnic tables. It knocked the roof off of that. It was
Oh,
like a
wow.
big storm.
Yeah.
But more importantly, this had nothing to do with our business, the podcast or anything. So when you say you try to base it on a sound or a song, do you have to tie your business into the song, or is it just because it's on your channel, then people start looking at who you are?
I don't know. I've never like got that deep into it, but I mean, I don't tie my business in any way. I just people like seeing really awesome vehicles and they like the edit and they like the sound and they're like, oh, so
Yeah.
it gets
And
a view
that's
and I
how-
like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine too. Is your videos like of cars and the cars that you've cleaned and
yeah,
stuff?
I do some really nice before and afters, or I'll do just afters only, and even just some like cool shots of the interior, exterior,
Oh,
and
I
kind
love
of
it.
mix it up a bit and
With
it'll get some
the right
likes.
editing and the right music. Oh,
Yeah.
so we'll definitely post a link to your
Yeah.
Instagram, but I want to
Yeah.
go look at it myself now because it
Yeah.
sounds awesome.
So are you doing this like full time? Like, are you working full time? Are you busy
I am
enough
working
to?
full time. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm working full time, and I'm gonna keep doing this for as long as I can until I finish getting the pilot's license, because I know it's gonna take up a lot more of my time. So
Okay.
I'm gonna keep running it and keep doing it for as long as I can.
So that's what you want to do for a career, is be a pilot?
yes,
Like
ma'am.
commercial,
Hey.
private? What are you
Kid's
thinking?
knocking it out of the park.
Corporate or maybe like a airplane broker.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
Who
fantastic.
even thinks about this at 17?
I don't know. I
wish I would have had my head
So
on my
you-
shoulders.
We can talk more off the air, but
Right.
on the flight, I just came back from a business flight. Not the last one, but the one before that I was telling
Mm-hmm.
her. I sat down next to a pilot of a private jet pilot, and he saw me looking at, drone study stuff when we got talking, and he pulled out his iPad and showed me this app that it was his flight iPad.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
called ForeFlight. You
Yeah,
maybe
I have that app,
Oh, do
yeah.
you?
Oh,
Yeah.
look at
And
this.
he started tracking the flight that we were on, and it was fascinating. Like the whole 3-hour flight went by with him showing me, now we're going to take this route. Now when they get to this beacon, we're going to go this way. And it was
Right.
it was super fascinating. But, and maybe this is stuff you already know, but I mean, do you have colleagues or friends that are pilots? Does someone your dad know a pilot, or are you're going to be the
Yeah.
first in your family to go into
Yeah,
this?
first in my family. Yeah,
Wow,
my
that's
mom.
amazing.
My mom brought me into it. Actually, I had actually got injured playing basketball. I used to play heavy travel ball, and since I got injured, I just never really wanted to get back into it. And she
Sure.
was like, "Hey, do you once a week you can fly airplanes? Do you want to give it a try?" And I was like, why not? So then I started doing it for a while, and it actually became an interest. And then I got into like the Civil Air Patrol and things like that, and
Yeah.
started flying more. And then that's when I got enrolled into Sun Air, and just like ever since then, it just became something that I'm super passionate about. Like every time I go past an airport, I see a plane, I'm like,
You're
I
excited.
totally
that's
get
awesome.
it. I
Yeah, there's an
totally get
excitement
it.
there.
It's,
Oh, that is awesome.
do you know about the Airbnb that is in is it the Tangerine,
Zellwood.
the Zellwood Airport?
Oh no.
Yeah.
There's an Airbnb you can rent that's in the airport. So you're in your room, and the whole slider door is a runway. Like you
Wow.
just, so it's really, really neat. So
Yeah.
we wanted to go do it because you literally watch the planes take off and land right
I
there.
could watch that all day.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
out
bet.
there. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
that is so cool. It's so cool that you know that like that's kind of the direction that you want to
Yes,
go
ma'am.
with.
And what a career too. I mean,
Yeah.
whether you do private or whether you eventually end up in commercial, I mean, that is a career that
Yeah.
you could retire early if you want to.
So I just had a thought though, because you have this business now that you're working at, probably saving, doing
Yes, ma'am,
whatever you're
yeah.
doing with your money.
Or are you going to say detailing airplanes?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Thought about it.
I'm telling you because
some
there's
thought.
people, people want their boats detailed and
Yep.
their playthings.
I
You
thought
should-
about it.
Yeah,
I'm-
you should really get into that. That seems
Well,
like it'd be really fun.
Another thing that I thought about doing is I also do ceramic window coating for
wow.
windshields and glass, and it's through Glass Parenting. It's like a 3-year ceramic coating that comes with a free warranty. And I'm
So
like,
is this like tinting kind of, or
no, just strictly coating. So it's
It's for the
what is it?
outside of the vehicle.
yeah,
Okay.
outside, yeah.
what does it do? Just prevent the glass from chipping, or?
It does give it like a protection over it, but I mean it won't stop it from getting damaged. It just helps with like water beating off of it. It keeps the windshield a
Oh.
lot clearer, so that way when you're
Oh.
driving it's safer. And what else was one of the things? It'll
those two
like little
alone are-
rock chips, like
Yeah.
it'll reflect those.
Oh,
So I thought about maybe
nice.
going to the airport and installing them on all the airplanes and private jets.
Oh, that's a great idea. You
wow.
better
Yeah.
market that before we air this.
Yeah, you had,
That's
or
true.
if there are any pilots out there, or, if somebody owns an air.
And I thought about doing it for free, just a little bit, just see if people like it, and they're like, "Hey, we want you to keep doing
That's brilliant,
this."
too.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with stuff like that. You get a couple little jobs under your belt so that you can have a reference,
Yep.
right? And then before you know it, you're doing everybody's
Everybody's airplane.
airplane at the airport.
Yeah.
We
That'd
have
be
so
awesome.
many little airports right around
Yeah.
here that the business it's there. It's
Right.
definitely there. That's cool.
So-
So you're really into cars though.
Yes, ma'am.
So I wanted to find out, you're doing the normal cars, whatever. You're like, yeah, it's beautiful because I made it beautiful now. But you're
Right.
not like into the newer cars.
Yeah.
You're into the older cars. What older cars have you detailed? I mean, what's your favorite car that you've detailed?
I haven't done an older one yet. I would like to. I've been waiting for like that guy just to be like, "Hey, have this car. I need you to detail
Hint,
it."
hint. Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
if anyone's listening. No, my favorite car that I've done so far is a GTR Nismo. That
Oh,
one was
cool.
amazing. That was probably one of my first like moments where I was like, "Wow."
Yeah, and anybody that has a car like that, they're into cars.
Yep.
So it's important for them to keep that car sparkly
Yeah, and it was.
pretty.
There's not a lot of the year that she got it. There wasn't a lot of them made. I think it was like the first one made, and it's like race ready. It was insane.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow. And she just drives it around the road?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
trying not to get tickets.
Yeah.
I actually did a photo shoot with it.
Oh, I saw
not too
that.
long
That's
ago.
the red,
Yep,
the red
the red
car,
one,
right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, and she got the color that like the police officers are attracted to.
Yeah, no,
the
she
one.
even
Red?
has the
Yeah, the red.
the police detector in it too, the scanner. That was insane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you do want to go a little faster, you gotta.
Gotta know.
You gotta be
I tell
careful.
you what, though, I was on a trip where someone had one of those scanners, my brother, going 120 miles an hour and come over a hill, and the cop's right there.
Yeah.
The scanner only works; it won't work through the dirt.
No.
Through the hill. That's what he was explaining to me. But
Or
yeah.
if they just see you go that fast, and they can start following you for a little while.
Yeah.
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 So, what kind of services do you do? Because, I know a little bit about detailing, but there's more than just washing and vacuuming out.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people don't really understand that. Like, I'll have people that'll text me and be like, oh, that's too expensive. But I think they just think because of my age, I'm just out here scrubbing cars. But to be honest, that's really not it. I mean, it's the time, the effort, and the energy. And the services that I offer are, professional interior cleaning, exterior cleaning. I do a little bit of polishing. I don't do a lot of it. I even do the glass ceramic coating and even like additional services as well.
What is the polishing? Is that like waxing? Or?
No, they're different. But the polishing is kind of like removing like scratches and severe paint damage and cleaning up clear coat if it's super faded, or just even polishing in general, which is it can remove like light haze, light scratches, but that's pretty much what it is.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, you know that big black spot I had on the door of my truck?
Yeah.
That's how they get that out with the polish.
Oh, that's cool. Is that something that you plan on adding to your services, or
Yeah, that's something I do.
Yeah.
So adding more kind of like taking. I know they do certifications, probably like with that coating that you were talking about.
Yeah.
So there's different certifications you can get to just add to your resume, basically, or the services you offer.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Cool.
I'll tell you another thing I love about your business is, as someone who has their car cleaned, you wouldn't know it right now, but as someone who has their car cleaned, we're busy. We have things going on. We have side hustles going. We have our day jobs, and I want to be able to find to call or get on a website and figure out when we can do it and what we have. And what's impressive to me is that you're on your Facebook. You have all of your services, what they cost, right there in the front. All the questions
Under
are
the
answered in
services.
5 seconds, which is great. So, is that generally how people get a hold of you to do?
Yeah, a lot
do
of
they
people
book
come
you
through
through Facebook, or do they go to Facebook, look at your service, and call you?
Well, they'll text me through like Facebook Messenger, like regular text message or call or email, and I actually have an app where I book them on there. I used to use the Facebook business app, and then I just stopped using that for a while. But I just book them on the Square appointment.
Okay.
Oh, that works perfectly.
So then your schedule, you're still on a schedule. You're not overlapping, or that's awesome.
Yeah. So when I do book it, you'll get a text. It'll be the package, the date, the day, and for
The cost.
Yeah, the cost and what service.
And then, of course, you accept tips, right?
Yep.
And please, guys, when you do have somebody, because you're traveling to them to wherever they are, right? So you're bringing everything with you to, wash their car at work or in their driveway. So it's so convenient.
Right.
Like, I would pay anybody to come to my house to do stuff.
Yeah,
like, I
for
don't
sure.
Yeah.
I don't have to go.
Yeah. That's why.
My sister comes, gives me facials at the house because she's an
That's awesome.
esthetician. I'm like, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to go to bed after you. I can't even drive after you touch my face. You know what I mean? So I want you to just come here. So, but I wanted to remind people, even though it's, your business, whoever's coming to your house to, clean make sure you tip. Because it's 100 degrees outside and it's, you know what I mean?
I've had some situations. I mean, there's one that I will never forget to this day. It was a really, really, really dirty car, and it was like in the middle of nowhere. And it's like one of those deals where it was like one-time thing, and then never
Start
tip.
sharing your location immediately when you pull up. That sounds terrifying to me.
I need everybody to know where I am.
Yeah, no, it was
And no tip.
It was bad. Yeah, I mean,
really?
The doors. It had so much dirt built up and grime from like grabbing the door, pushing it open, and even all over the steering wheel. Cup holders were sticky, had candy in it.
You took before and after pictures of this, I hope.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
tip
To
on this
show.
one?
No tip.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got to figure out, how do you put a disclaimer in there so you don't get
I
ripped
did.
off.
I did have an idea though. I saw it from another detailer. He bought a little small trash can from the dollar store, and he said if it fills up all the way, then there's going to be an upcharge. So he's like, basically, if you have
Oh,
a
that's
water
brilliant.
bottle, you're pretty much done for.
Yeah, but that's brilliant
okay.
too. Would that have helped you with that one though? Was it full of garbage? Right.
I don't even. It was that bad. I don't think it would have.
Yeah.
But he said it helps keep a standard though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But wow, well, I mean, and you're gonna get. I guess the best you can hope for is that with the level of care that you seem to have about it,
Yeah.
which makes me think it's the level of work shows that care. You're automatically going to start getting word of mouth. You probably already are with
Yeah.
clients to where you can afford to, stay in the area. Maybe if someone's trying to book you way out in the middle of
And
nowhere.
is
I
it
don't know.
mostly repeat customers since you've done such? It seems like
Yeah,
you've
I do
done
have
a really
my-
good
my
job. So
monthly
you have
people.
a lot of repeats.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I have my monthly people.
That's awesome.
Now,
Well,
because of that one experience you had, do you dread when somebody calls and wants their car cleaned just one time?
I try to stay away. Like I'll have people send me pictures of their vehicle, and I'm like, I can always recommend you to someone else because I'm trying to get
That's the way
more
to do
towards
it.
than
Okay.
like nicer vehicles because
Yeah.
during the summer you don't want to be in someone's interior for
4 or 5 hours.
yeah, especially if it's really bad and they book a full service, which I understand if it's a full
Yeah.
service and that time is required. But if it's
Yeah.
something like a basic that I do, which is my classic package or my signature package, I want to be in and out.
Well, I do love that
Yeah.
on your Facebook page, you do have the amount of time. Too.
Yeah.
And I think that's important
it
because
is absolutely.
Somebody thinks they're going to keep coming out there and going, oh, it's like that's 5 hours of my time and you're making less per hour, so we have to think about that.
Indeed, that also protects you from the junker that's
Yeah.
20 years old and has never been cleaned. Like,
Oh, man, I've had
you're
those
out there
ones.
half a day
So-
and there's no tip. And
Yeah.
but I would think also there's a difference between getting your car detailed and just needing your car washed because your car
Yeah,
is an
there's
old
a huge
junker.
difference.
And
Yeah.
you're not really out there to wash somebody's car as much as you are to make it really nice.
I do offer it though. If someone was just like, hey, even my monthly people, if they don't want the inside done and they're like, hey, I need
Yeah.
to touch up on the outside, I go out there and
Yeah.
touch it up.
That's a great
Yeah.
point, but that's also, people, it's been cared for enough to where washing it
Yeah.
matters, not
Yeah.
Just
you know,
going out there and
knock the dirt off kind
Yeah.
of thing. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very neglectful. We need to.
I mean, to a degree.
That's all right.
Hopefully, you didn't cringe too much when you walked up. But I mean, we get it washed. We get it washed when it gets dirty.
But we are
Right.
okay. In the fairness, we are not car people.
Yeah.
Like the cars to get, I take
Right.
care of my car.
Listen,
Gets
I can't
me
say
from point A to
nothing.
point B.
my truck's bad right now.
That's how
but
it always
I work
is,
out of
though.
it, so
So whatever you do for a living, well, I would say that
What-
your technology is broken, but it's not. But like you always see plumbers, they
Mm-hmm.
have leaky pipes in their house, but nobody else's pipes are leaking because that's what they do all day. You
Right.
know.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. It's a different. I'm also like OCD, I guess. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you are too when it comes to the detail. But she'll tease me because when the kids lived here, even we could be walking out the door to go on vacation, and someone could say, "Oh, my smart device hasn't been working. I can't leave. I got to go fix it." So.
Yeah,
I have
the
to have
unspoken
all
rule
the.
is we
Yeah.
don't talk about technology before
Before
leave,
vacation,
Okay?
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Before we go
Right.
anywhere out the door, I don't care if your stuff's broke. It's gonna wait till it comes home because otherwise we're not getting out of here.
Yeah. So what's the name of the business?
mine.
Yes, your
Hayden's Detailing Service.
Say again.
Hayden's Detailing
Hayden's
Service.
Detailing Service. People can find you on Facebook and on Instagram. We're definitely going to post those links.
Yeah.
And
I have a question.
sure.
So you've started this at 15, you said, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So been going at it for a couple of years.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, it's already been in business for a couple of years. Any plans to kind of build the business and then eventually sell it once you start
Yeah.
getting in? That's
Is there
ma'am.
really?
Yeah.
smart.
Oh,
That is
wow.
really smart. Because then you
It's
have
'cause-
your clientele built up already. There's already like business there.
Yep.
Yeah.
For
Especially
whoever's
when I
gonna
get
take it
more
over.
into flying. That's
Well,
kind
that's
of the
why.
goal.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you asked that because I guess part of me was thinking this whole time, ever since we talked about the pilot thing, that you're doing a great job. You're going to continue to clean cars. You're going to continue to get all these great clients, and then you're just going to boop. I'm a pilot now.
That was that's something I really had to think about too. My mom was like, give it some thought because I was actually walking down Tavares by the seaplane, the Jonas Brother, or no, not what is it, Jones Brothers. It's something like that, but it's down there and they have all the seaplanes. And I was actually walking down.
Because Tavares is like the capital of
seaplanes.
seaplanes.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I remember
And
the
they
sign.
land on the water. Yeah.
I was actually walking down the sidewalk with my girlfriend Abby, and I just looked at it and I was like, once you get up in the sky, there's no like denying that feeling that you still want to pursue that. And, you know, I had told my mom that. She's like, all right, well, you know, I really want you to think about it. You know, is this something that you still want to do? And if so, you know, you need to think about it a little bit. So I did. And, you know, I was like, you know, I've worked so hard to build this up, all the blood, sweat, and tears that went into building this. You know, I just don't want it to die. You know, I want it to go to someone that I trust, or, you know, end up selling it, because I don't just want to watch it disappear. It's like a kid, you know, you brought it up.
Yeah. And also, do you plan on maybe bringing somebody on board and training them in the detail that you know, provide to your customers, so that if that person takes it over, they're providing those customers that have been so happy with you the same level?
Yeah, I was thinking about my brother Brody, because he goes out and he helps me all the time. So everything that I know to do, he knows how to do.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Is he your younger brother?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's I have a couple of siblings, but Brody and Asher they like to go out and help me every now and then.
Oh, cool.
You know, that I guess that's a great option if it ends up being your brother. But I was also thinking here, as you're saying that you could also always continue to be a part owner, even though you're not in it, because if the value of building up all those good clients, that's a huge value than someone starting this whole thing from the beginning again and ending up getting those jobs out in the middle of nowhere where you don't get tips. And, you know, your business, you know, hopefully by the time you're ready to let go of it, you've built up, maybe you already have so many clients that it's like, it's way more valuable than just starting a business on your own. Even if you just sold the equipment, it's more valuable than just the equipment.
That's true.
So that's a brilliant idea to either be to like you said, build it up and then sell it, or to hand it off to another family member,
or keep like a percentage. You know,
Yeah.
Right. I thought about being part owner too. I even told her that I was like, you know, just to run the social media side of things and you know, make the post and all that, and then they can, you know, run the shop, handle the customers, the scheduling and all that. I'll leave that up to them, but you know, I just want to be the business side of it.
Yeah. So do you plan on going to school, because you homeschool, you said, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you going to do schooling for like business or anything, just to learn like kind of the back end of that kind of stuff?
It's kind of what my mom does now. She kind of teaches us that through homeschooling. Yeah, she you know, she buys books for us and I'll read them, and it's like you know, business books, networking books, and things like that that'll teach us and kind of help us with that skill.
That's great.
Well, you know, also pilot, I mean, that's not a low paying job. So if your career takes off as a pilot, which I expect it will with the way you're motivated and driven, you know, you could be making enough money to take part of your pilot money and reinvest it back into keeping the detail thing. Who knows? That could be a secondary retirement plan where it just runs itself and you've got 20 detailers. Who knows? You know what I mean? It could be a big thing who says you can't have as many businesses as you want?
Yourself.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I would imagine piloting takes up most of your time if you're really into it, but it doesn't mean you can't be behind the scenes at doing something else. And I do want to talk to you after we're done here, because I know we really want to promote your detail business, but I do want to talk to you about the pilot stuff for sure, because I'm thrilled that you're doing that for sure. Yeah.
So what are I'm just curious kind of what the steps are for that. So you have to have so many. I know we're getting off of the detailing, but I'm interested in it.
We're going to do it. We're going down that hole.
No, but I want to know, with the flying, is it so many hours you have to have in the air, then with a trainer, and then by yourself?
When you start out, it's both ground and flight. You have to have enough hours on the ground school to understand, you know, the avionics, the outside of the aircraft, emergencies and things like that, all the regulations. And then even in flight, like introduction to flight, you know, what situations you may encounter, the maneuvers and things like that. You have to understand all that, and you have to have so many hours. I can't remember off the top of my head how many hours it is to get your private pilot. But even, I want to say, what is it? With the certified instructors too, like those hours count as well.
Oh, okay.
All that stuff he mentioned, which is an insane amount of stuff.
I know.
And he has to know all the stuff I had to learn, like how to read the charts, how to read the maps, how to plot a course, how to know different, automatically sorted to know what different airspace is, how to know what
fly zones and things like that.
What the communications are,
Interesting.
how to read those METAR things I was telling you, where it's like coded and you have to know the direction of the wind and the dew point and the temperature and the type of cloud coverage and all that stuff. It's a very heady job for sure.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
There's a YouTube channel I want to show you. Maybe you already know about it, but it's this lady. She's probably 20 maybe. And she flies her little Cessna all over the place. She has GoPros on the wings.
I
and
thought
she
you were going
flies
to say Trent Palmer for a minute. I don't know if you know who that is. He does. I mean, it's crazy. The drone work that he does is insane.
Yeah.
But
is he doing FPV?
What's that?
So FPV drones are the ones that I will eventually have ones. So what I'm starting in right now is the cinematic stuff.
Yeah, he did that before it was a thing. Like they used to take cameras and strap them, and he's like been the longest
I love
guy
it.
in the industry.
So you're
I
gonna
mean,
have to check him out.
Honestly, the real money is in like survey work and stuff. It's not super cool, fun editing stuff, but I'll do some of that for sure. But FPV is where you put the goggles on.
Yeah, he does
and
that.
I don't know if you've seen the one the guy who did like the bowling alley, but
Haven't seen that one.
I'll show you after. But FPV is where it's just hauling butt to tiny little. It would fly through this house at 40 miles an hour
wow.
and make it between all the doors. And the last time I was out flying my drone at Wilson's Landing doing all this cinematic stuff, there was a bunch of guys there that were part of this FPV group, and these things are zipping by and around a tree, and you're like, what is that? The dog was freaking out.
Yeah, that is crazy.
But yeah, it's really neat.
So, Hayden, if anybody needs a nice detailing job, what is the easiest way that they can book with you or find out a little more information?
Probably Facebook messaging, or even like regular messaging, like iMessaging. But even then, it's kind of tricky because I'll send something and then they won't get it won't respond. So Facebook messaging seems to be the platform that that works best.
And we'll also have links directly to that in the show notes, so they can just scroll
even email
down.
too. Even email comes through pretty easily for me.
Perfect.
Yeah. So your email and all that is on your Facebook page, I'm assuming, right?
I believe my email is.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
We'll get it from you
is.
and make sure
Yeah.
we put it. Okay.
It's there.
Well, thanks for coming out. This was really cool to learn, and I'm going to get my
thank you
truck
for having
cleaned
me
through your service for
thank
sure.
you guys for having me. It was a good time.
I should have asked that. So you're located in Leesburg. Do you travel? How far do you travel? Is a question, because we're in Apopka, so we're a little farther away from Leesburg.
I mean,
I promise we'll tip
here.
good though.
But do you go to Eustis?
I do.
Okay, so I work in Eustis, so we could just do one car one day and have
Another car another day. That's perfect.
That's how it works.
Yeah, that's it. We'll do it for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds great.
But I service Lake County, Lake County, but Leesburg, Umatilla, Tavares, Eustis,
Okay.
a little further out, but not as far as Orlando.
Monday through Friday kind of thing?
As of right now, yeah. Saturdays and Sundays I have off.
Understood.
Yep.
You got to have some days off. You
For sure.
you got to balance the work and the fun. You do have to have fun in life.
I'm going to try that one day.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Hayden, well, thank you so much for
Yes, thank
joining
you.
us.
Had a good
And
time.
we're excited for everybody to check you out and hopefully,
Yes,
get a few more, little gigs under your belt. Gigs?
Yeah,
Is that what it
call
is?
them gigs.
I mean, isn't that for like playing guitar or something? So that's not the right
And
word.
one day we're going to say, that guy, I'm sorry, what's your last name again?
DeMoss.
DeMoss.
We're going to say, that guy Hayden DeMoss, that pilot? Remember we had him on?
Wasn't that
He was
cool?
doing the detail thing. Yeah.
Now his brother's running this business. That's
Have to
sweet.
come back a couple years later and watch this episode and be like, whoa.
Yeah, no doubt.
Or when you become a pilot.
Right.
And you have your own business where you're
Might
flying
have to
people
reach
around.
out again.
Oh, that'd be
That's
amazing.
Explain my piloting experience.
Oh, I will do a
That
2-hour
would
one
be-
if you're talking
Okay.
about
Okay,
pilots.
I'm down. Whenever
Well,
you're
you and
ready.
I will love it, and it will put everyone to sleep,
Yep.
except for people that are into pilots.
I will have a drink.
We'll be going
while
back
you
and
guys talk
forth.
about it all.
Yeah.
I mean, I find it interesting. I just don't
Right.
know what to say.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
oh, you're talking too nerdy for
I
me.
had her helping me with the flashcards to learn the 3-digit codes for all the weather patterns, and
Oh, yeah.
Right.
and it's really just flashcards at that point. But you can
Yeah.
tell she's like, oh my god.
I know. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for joining us here in studio. And everybody, remember that the Fine and Danjee Show has a Patreon.
We do, and I am going to stop being fooled by that sooner or later because we're like 150 episodes or so into this thing, and every single one of them, we've ended it with one of us going, and remember, it's all fine and Danjee. It's dorky, I know, but it's our tagline at the end. And so when we got a Patreon, we say the Patreon link, but Angie started doing this thing like 3 episodes ago where she goes, and remember, we have a Patreon, so I'm always going, hey,
Wait,
Oh.
we're not doing
Okay.
the thing.
Right.
We're not doing the thing.
So you
Tell
do
them
that-
what the Patreon
you
is.
do that to mess with me.
Tell them the Patreon, Dan.
So our Patreon is patreon.com/Fine and Danjee. We have 3 tiers of donations. You can do $1, $3, or $5. Purely donations to the show at this point. We hope to do additional content at some point for Patreon, but right now it's just donations to the show. And what that really helps us with, we've been saying it helps with the equipment and all, but to be honest, it doesn't. It helps with the services that we pay for like
the
the
equipment's
music.
already been paid for.
Yeah.
The music or it would take us 10 years to get paid back on that. But, honestly, this is our sort of community contribution as we feel, we don't charge for the podcast or anything like that. But what the Patreon does is it helps pay for the music that we put in the show or the website that we have for the show where we put all of your links and stuff. So
offset some of those costs.
It's a monthly cost, but you won't even notice it really, especially at like $1 or $2. And for those of you that are already our patrons, we can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
That money is helping.
I'm going to have to become one.
Yeah, I appreciate it for sure. And that's it. So it's patreon.com/fineandangie. And if you're watching, actually, if you're on YouTube or listening on your podcast player, it'll be a link in the show notes. You can just scroll down and click it.
Just like that.
Yep.
Bloop. Scroll.
And maybe your computer's old and it goes, how does it go?
Bloop.
When you click. That's it.
But also remember, at the end of each and every day,
It's all fine and dandy.
Bye.